please feel free to join the conversation by calling in or sending us a WhatsApp message. You can also share your thoughts on Facebook. All right, so let me just roll out the numbers that you can reach us on this morning for WhatsApp. In case you want to send us a text or a voice note, you can send us a message on WhatsApp at 0901-615-0614. Let's take that WhatsApp number again, 0901-615-0614, and to call us directly 0808-704-1217. Let's take that call line again, 0808-704-1217. All right, and on Facebook we're right there at Bright FM Abuja. We're streaming live, so you can join in on Facebook and also drop your comments on the comments section, and we're definitely going to see it. So settle in, let's get into today's headlines together. All right, as usual, we're going to start by just running through all the headlines that are making top stories this morning. We're going to begin with the Vanguard newspaper, and it says Tinubu saved Nigeria from economic bleeding. Doing on this one, Tinubu saved Nigeria from economic bleeding. That's in Vanguard newspaper. Now, moving forward to still on Vanguard, it says rethink reform strategies. IMF advises Nigeria. Rethink reform strategies. IMF advises Nigeria. That's still on Vanguard newspaper. And on Punch, it reads, NNPCL admits challenges delaying Port Harcourt refinery takeoff. That's on Punch. NNPCL admits challenges delaying Port Harcourt refinery takeoff. That's on Punch newspaper. Still on Punch, Senate to approve Tinubu's $2.2 billion loan request today. Senate to approve Tinubu's $2.2 billion loan request today, and that's in Punch newspaper. On Tribune, Nigeria needs individual character remolding, not electoral reform. Nigeria needs individual character remolding, not electoral reform. Lagos Bonek on this one, and that's in Tribune, a newspaper this morning. And on Vanguard, Okpebholo declares war on cultism as killings continue. Okpebholo declares war on cultism as killings continue. That's in Vanguard newspaper. And on The Nation, it reads ICPC tracks 610 billion naira constituency projects in 21 states, including the FCT. ICPC tracks 610 billion naira constituency projects in 21 states. Plus the FCT. That's on The Nation newspaper this morning. Still on The Nation, APC will win more states in future, says Party Chieftain. APC will win more states in future, says Party Chieftain. That's on The Nation newspaper. And on Punch, Boko Haram kills 5 soldiers, burns military trucks in Borno State, or in Borno attack. Boko Haram kills 5 soldiers, burn military trucks in Borno attack, and that's on Punch newspaper. That's all of the headlines that we're going to be looking at this morning. As usual, we're going to be taking the at a time. Are you hearing it? No. Which news should we start with now?
Why is the camera here? Why is it here? You can go back, right?
You say which one should we start?
Yeah?
You say which one should we start?
We're starting with NNPC.
Okay.
Select, we're introducing you to, right? You're here. All right.
Okay, welcome back. Let's just begin the stories properly this morning. Let me just roll out the call lines again. 0901-615-0614. That's on WhatsApp, and 0808-704-1217. Let's begin with what's on Punch newspaper this morning. And the headline reads, NNPCL admits challenges delaying Port Harcourt refinery takeoff, and that's on Punch. Let's look into the main stories. The Nigerian National Petroleum Commission has finally spoken out about the delays in completing the Port Harcourt Refinery Company, a project that has been plagued by setbacks and missed deadlines. Now, according to Olufemi, the NNPC's Chief Corporate Communications Officer, the company encountered unforeseen risks and challenges while carrying out the rehabilitation, which is a common issue with brownfield projects of this scale and complexity. Now, despite challenges, so Olufemi assured that the issues have been resolved and commissioning activities have resumed, with work being carried out around the clock to ensure the project's completion. However, when asked about a timeline for completion, Mr. Olufemi gave a vague answer saying shortly, which has left many Nigerians skeptical given the NNPC's history of missing deadlines. In fact, this is not the first time the NNPC has missed a deadline for the Port Harcourt refinery. The project has been delayed 7 times, with the most recent promise of completion being September 2024, which came and went without any update from the NNPC. Now, the refinery, which has been in operation since 1965 but has been work-bound for several years, is crucial to Nigeria's plans to refine its crude oil and end the importation of refined products. Now, the delays have not only affected the country's economy, but also raised concerns about transparency and accountability. The contractor handling the project, Mary Technipoint SPA, has refused to disclose the completion date, citing it's a private company not bound by the Freedom of Information Act. With the NNPC's latest assurance of completion shortly, Nigerians can only hope that this time will be different. Now, good morning, Kirby. Good morning, Mr. Sele. It's so good to have you. We missed you yesterday, by the way. Good morning, Mr. Sele.
Yeah, good morning.
Good to have you. Good morning, Kirby.
Good morning.
How are you? I'm fine, thank you. I think that the stories that we're going to look through this morning are pretty interesting, and we're starting off with NNPCL, and they have come to admit that there's been challenges delaying the Port Harcourt refinery takeoff. Every other time that we have a conversation regarding PMS, crude oil, refineries, what we keep saying is that we need the government to pay attention to resuscitating the dilapidated refineries, and there's been setbacks, there's been missed deadlines, coming out to be open about it, all right, but they're not telling us exactly what is causing the delays, exactly what is causing the missed deadlines. But let me look at them coming out now to say, okay, you know what, these issues, we're already resolving them. In fact, it's been resolved and commissioning activities have resumed. But we're asking for a timeline for completion. I mean, you should be aware of maybe a time frame for completion, and the answer that they are giving is shortly. Now, Nigerians I don't know how Nigerians, are accepting this, because I mean, there's been deadlines, there's been back and forth with this. Now, coming out and saying shortly, it's not something to really hold on to.
Initially, I was thinking that this is actually a rocket science. Getting a refinery to work, I thought it wasn't going to be possible in Africa or in Nigeria. But when Dangote did it, I was like, okay, so it's not a rocket science per se. It is doable. But the whole federal government could not, and still is not even sure of when they can do that. Is it not a shame? What an individual came out to do. When did Dangote start his project? How many years did it take?
Did it take him?
How many years have we been on this Port Harcourt refinery?
And it's not as if we're starting from the scratch.
It's not like we're starting from scratch. It's from scratch. It's a refinery that has been in operation before. It's just to rehabilitate it. But definitely people who I keep saying this. People who enjoy, as in who make fortune when we suffer. They won't want us to not to suffer. Even if you are the one, will you want to take away what brings food on your table? No. If suffering of Nigerians is what put food on their tables, definitely we have to suffer.
We're
and they will
looking
make
at
sure
yeah.
we keep suffering.
Yeah, so Mr. Sele, we're looking at the fact that this project has been delayed 7 times. 7 times. And now, this recent promise that, there was a recent promise that was going to be completed in September 2024, where we're almost the last lap of the year. The year has 2024 is, in fact, as far as we're concerned, there are people who have started their 2025 already.
Literally. So
Right?
You still want to be hopeful on their promises. No, you still want to believe
So because
that this our Nigeria.
because the last promise was September
Promise is
2024, and we don't have any new dates at
dear,
hand.
as far as
Or in
I'm
line.
concerned, there won't be a date. Even if they give you dates, it still won't work. Because the truth is, they see. Look at what is happening in a lot of other sectors. Things working the way it should be. I was discussing with a colleague yesterday, and he was like, that to solve Nigerian problem doesn't take a weird person, somebody who have a strong will. It doesn't take more than a year. That in fact, the moment we automate a lot of processes in Nigeria, our issue is solved 90%. But they won't want to do it. If they automate it, how will brown envelopes fly? No, that is the truth. So how will I have as in somebody who was telling me that this just that we don't do travel and you don't pay in naira. I won't go into details. But there are places where on a daily basis brown envelopes are flying in foreign currencies. So if things begin to work, those brown envelopes will reduce. So things cannot work, my dear.
So Kirby, now according to the Chief Corporate Communications Officer, of NNPC, he has come out to say shortly. What do you think we can make out of that shortly?
I like the fact that Mr. Sele said you still have faith, because Nigeria.
We have to believe in something. For
What
crying
are
out
you
loud.
believing in when you know the country that you are in, how they delay things? See, if not because Dangote refinery came out, and it's because it's private, it's owned by somebody who is into business, I don't think Nigeria will be having a refinery anytime soon, because the ones we have, we're not even working towards it. Each time they want to work towards it, they come up with excuses. And there was the news that they said, is it South Korea to want to also build refineries in Nigeria? You see, people are even coming in to even make promises on top of the one we don't have. It's not like we don't have it, but they are not working towards it. So what he's saying, I don't have faith in it coming up anytime soon, because that's one thing these people know how to do. They come out, they tell you they have intentions of doing this, and at the end of the day, they don't do it. Just like Mr. Sele said, if we have the right people on seat, then that's when you see. Nigeria don't have problem.
We don't have it.
We don't have problem.
Our
Just
problem
have,
does not take more than one person to
just
To
have
solve.
all our sectors working. You will see how peaceful. You will see how everybody is working towards their own achievement. But since we don't have all sectors working, that's why you see how Nigerians are suffering.
And that as far as the economic progress of Nigeria is concerned, this refinery is crucial.
It is.
It is
Yes.
very crucial, and also when we're talking about the survival of the average Nigerian, making sure that our refineries are working is very,
It's
very crucial.
Yes.
Because it's the only
And
sector
one of the
that-
major things that is really going to do is ending importation of refined products. Because this one that Ipman and other marketers have said, okay, you know what, we're not going to import again. We're going to, buy from Dangote. We don't know what the future holds and what is going to
If
unfold.
we depend only on Dangote, that is monopoly. And it's very dangerous to the
That's
economy.
monopoly. That's on one side. But again, we don't even know what the future holds. They might have issues tomorrow. People at the top, we know.
Yes.
Look at the back and forth, that we had before they even decided to lift fuel from the Dangote refinery, right? So even now, say that, okay, you know what, we've settled with Dangote, we're going to be lifting fuel from the Dangote refinery. We don't know what the
Yeah,
future
no,
holds.
we are not
Tomorrow, they might have an issue or a misunderstanding, business thing, back to importing.
So the thing is, let's tell ourselves the truth. It will take. I'm not sure if this present administration is ready for what Nigeria deserves, for what Nigeria needs now. If they are ready, their days in office is enough to have seen a positive moves in some directions that we expected. There are a lot of things that need urgent attention. Just like you keep saying, Nigeria is supposed to be in ICU. If it is in hospital, they should be in ICU now. In emergency units. State of emergency need to be declared.
Oh my God.
Any loving president of this country should see it as an urgency. Where we are now need deliberate action. Yes, we are going to hurt a lot of people. People will feel bad, just like what we are seeing currently on the people complaining about hardship. It will come, but let it be in the right direction. Let's suffer it once and for all and get to where we're supposed to be.
I think that don't come for me, but I think that since NNPC first has, because there's been silence, right? But they've come out now to say, okay, you know what, we were experiencing challenges, but at the time we're fixing things, and commissioning activities have resumed. The only problem we have is that there's no timing to it. They're still saying shortly, but let's just be hopeful that before you know what is happening, or maybe that's even the good news that we're going to use to start 2025. Mr. Sele, what do you think?
Hopefully, but not in Nigeria.
Mr. Sele, be calming down. Be calming down. Maybe that's going to be a New Year gift, you guys. Maybe as we're just entering into 2025, you will tell us the Port Harcourt refinery is ready.
No, once
the fuel price has reduced.
Has crashed down to 500.
Vicky, then when it's ready, then they will not give you an excuse that maybe one side, the part of the machine is no longer working. They need to change some certain things.
Kevin, see possibilities.
I'm seeing it. But welcome to Nigeria. They might say we need 1.something trillion to fix that part. Then it will not delay again for another year.
Talking about trillions and billions, let's move over to Punch. Now, Senate to approve Tinubu's $2.2 billion loan request today. Let's look at the story properly. President Bola Tinubu has requested the Senate's approval for a $2.2 billion loan to help finance Nigeria's 2024 budget deficit, estimated at 9.7 trillion. Now, this loan is part of the external borrowing plan outlined in the 2024 Appropriation Act and has been approved by the Federal Executive Council. Now, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has tasked the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts to review the request and report back within 24 hours. In addition to the loan request, Tinubu has also submitted House of Representatives. 2025 budget is 47 for 2025. I think it's in trillion also.
It's in trillion.
I think it's in trillion also. And that is aside. Now, this 2.2 billion naira loan request that the president is asking.
$2.2 billion.
$2.2 billion loan request that the president is asking for is for 2024 budget deficit to finance it. That's apart from the loan that we're going to also get for 2025. And when we had that conversation, people were calling in to say, why are we still, borrowing when the money that we're borrowing, we're not even seeing the impact in any sector at all?
I keep asking myself, how will we continue like this? So this government comes, borrow to fund budget, budget to do what? Lagos Ibadan Express we have kept occurring in the budget since I was a child. Up to today, they are still doing that. A lot of other projects. Is it that the engineers, the contractors that submitted proposals for such contracts, they underestimated? Or why do we keep borrowing to fund budgets, items in the budget that have kept recurring over the years? We borrow to misappropriate, we borrow to I don't know.
Mr. Sele, this one you'll be asking, don't we have things that are working for us in Nigeria here to fence those kind of things?
Like if there's any sector that is bringing in a lot of money.
I just calculated from crude oil alone with 2.06 million barrels per day at $75,000 in a year. We are making about close to 80 trillion naira. How much is our debt? How much is our budget for the year?
And part of the things that I even have an issue with sometimes when a budget is released is, how it's delegated to different sectors, and how that we see that some sectors that are supposed to be prioritized, we see the amount of money that is allocated to them, and you see that by the end of an entire year, that budget does nothing for them.
That is it.
We're looking at the security, we're looking at health, we're looking at education.
My dear, with what we have, the other day I was talking about, we have a lot of things, a lot of mineral deposits, a lot of avenues. That is it. That is it.
Oh my God, this is where we're seeing ourselves. A lot of countries, get loans.
Yes,
the problem is not even in.
It's not getting loans.
Getting loans.
Even the most developed countries, they take loans. I was discussing with somebody the other day on another platform, and we were comparing like a country like US. If you check their debt profile, Nigeria is just learning where they are. But you see the effects of the borrowing. You see,
what are you using the money to?
If they borrow, they are borrowing to build, not to eat.
So it makes that there's return.
There is a return on different. Yes. If you borrow and you, let's say for instance you borrow, okay, they want to borrow $2.2 billion. If they borrow and let's say they invest $1 billion out of it into something that returns, let's say 100 million or so on a monthly basis. Before you know it, as in the return on that 1 billion will take care of servicing the loan. And whatever they want to do with the other one, we won't have the effect.
And you know that, Mr. Sele, experts have also talked about how that there needs to be a lot of investment in the ability for Nigeria to import more than always exporting. And we keep
to export.
To export, more than always.
Yes, I said it the other day now.
More than always importing. And we talked about agriculture. We talked about how that Nigerians are capable. We are very creative people. We just need funding in different aspects. And it makes that if as a country there's something that we're known for, exporting, and other countries are buying from us, we're going to see significant improvement with our dollar and naira struggle.
I was in a meeting recently with the Oil Palm Growers Association of Nigeria, and the man was almost crying.
Bitter.
He was bitter. He asked their president. He was like, somebody is requesting for their products, but he couldn't get it in Nigeria. One person's demand, the whole of them, the whole farmers that grows that are in that category cannot supply one person's request. And we are talking of millions of dollars. Imagine this government have empowered people in agriculture, and maybe a set of people are known to be producing in excess. There is nothing you produce in Nigeria today that doesn't have market out there. There is nothing, virtually nothing.
And
there is no amount to produce.
Did you know that individual businesses in Nigeria have even found a way to export things like even food?
Yes.
Cooked food.
Yes, I know.
From here,
yes.
Outside,
yes. I know. There are a lot of things. We have.
Imagine that some of these things are done in large scale.
Yes, there are things we have here that they can't get in places like US. For example, I've been. There was a time we wanted to go into it. In my former place, my boss wanted to go into it, but just like what I say, what discouraged small businesses, the cost of transporting it there and the logistics we pay, we find out that it doesn't make sense. But it is on a high demand out there. Everything we have here are on high demand.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning, Mr. John. Now you call us first today. We'll clap for you. Mr. John, please go ahead. Final.
Yes, Mr. John. Yeah. What did they do with it? Yes. There's nothing. There's no, in fact, there is no blueprint to where we are going. Yes.
But if there are structures,
I'll come to that. Yes. The thing no leave anybody.
don't leave it exactly.
They have signed the bill, yes.
That's why I
You see
asked.
that the executive have approved the bill already.
I'm with you. Just for sitting down
Just
to
to sit down and
negotiate.
negotiate.
Exactly.
Monthly salary. Each sitting. Yes.
We kept
keep
asking
asking.
that. Kept asking that. Okay.
This well. Yes. Yes.
Please round up, Mr. John.
That's just the problem.
Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you so much for your contribution. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mr. John. Mr. John, don't start this morning with anger for Nigeria.
No, the thing is,
We have triggered Mr. John.
you are looking at things we were discussing.
Oh my God.
We're having insecurities, we are having all these issues. Nobody's talking about that, but to borrow 2.2 billion US dollars
Talking about that, let's move
to
over.
fund 2024 budget that has
Let's move
finished.
over to the third story now on Vanguard. It says rethink reform strategies. IMF advises Nigeria. Now, the International Monetary Fund has issued recommendations to help sub-Saharan African countries, including Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, and Kenya, to implement economic reforms that are acceptable in their to their citizens. Now, the countries are experiencing adjustment fatigue and civil reforms, which include deregulation of petrol and foreign exchange. The IMF's Regional Economic Outlook report emphasizes the need for broad-based engagement with the population, clear communication of the benefits of reform, and partnerships with key figures. It also recommends appropriate design and sequencing of reforms, complementary measures to support those affected, and fostering inclusive growth. Now, this report suggests that policymakers should focus on building trust with the public, promoting transparency, and controlling corruption. Opinion surveys indicate that trust in governance ability to use public resources effectively is low in many sub-Saharan African countries. Now, to address these challenges, the IMF recommends a multifaceted approach, including social safety nets, job search assistance, and retraining programs. By prioritizing inclusive growth and addressing social frustrations, policymakers can reduce their macroeconomic vulnerabilities and create a more sustainable economic environment. Now, I'm going to just hold on to this. This is a research that has been done. This is IMF coming to, roll out strategies that can help, sub-Saharan African countries, which Nigeria is a part of. And now the reports that they brought out is that the opinion survey indicates that trust in governance ability to use public resources effectively is low.
Because of
that's just what we finished talking about.
Yes.
The public, the people, the citizens, they don't have trust.
Now let me say this.
In government's ability to use public resources.
Let me say this. If the US president comes out to say we want to borrow $1 trillion, in fact, it won't take 2 seconds for the proposal to get approved. You know why? Because over the years they have seen that each penny borrowed was accounted for. If there was corruption, it was at the barest minimum. Because the country is not being run by individuals. It is a systematic thing. That you are the president we are just the president. Before anything is approved or is done, there is a system that has to be accounted for and transparently in that matter. But in Nigeria, we
look at some of the things that the report suggested that policymakers should. And every time that we read all of these things, I'm like, why are all these things just on paper? Why are we not seeing them?
Do you think they don't know?
So because now we're looking at how that the report is suggesting that policymakers should focus on 3 things. Now, number 1, building trust with the public. We're looking at number 2, promoting transparency. And then the third thing is controlling corruption. And you see that these 3 things, if focused on properly, you see the amount of results that we're going to get. Talking about building trust, the average Nigerian does not trust in the ability for this country to progress. They go just say Nigeria don't scatter, nothing go moving. I told you the other time we're giving an example and making jokes about how even a small child in America knows how to just already say God bless America.
Yes.
Just talk good about their country.
They have built it into their conscience.
Exactly, at the back of their mind. Ask an average primary 1 child about their country. They cannot tell you to say, get at this country bill. No trust in whatsoever. We don't trust the electricity sector. We don't trust the health sector. We don't trust the government. We don't trust INEC. Which we don't trust security.
We don't even trust ourselves.
The other time, not yesterday, we they argue say who bring out the talk say police is your friend. Yesterday we they argue we don't trust the police. Who do we even trust? So talking about now intentionally doing things that will help rebuild the trust.
And the only way to do this, just like what I said, the corruption is endemic. It has gone, it has eaten deep into the fabrics of this nation. Everybody, in fact, even the nursery school child has the blood flowing in him or her.
Let's take this call, Mr. Zele. Sorry. Hello, good morning. Okay, Mr. John.
Yes. We don't have somebody with the political willpower to get things right.
I'm with you, Mr. John.
Everywhere. Yes. Without any plan for the masses. Yeah. Definitely. I've proposed that already.
Going far. Look at what Dubai did with their
Yes.
Sahara Desert.
Exactly.
Just transformed it.
That's intentional.
So sorry, Mr. John. I think that we lost you on that one. But again, it's just the same thing that we're talking about. Kevin, let's get you, because Kevin, you're just smiling and looking at us like, you don't know this Nigeria, you just the talk. Kevin, please go ahead.
Well, this is not the first time IMF is coming out to talk about this whole Nigerian issue, and I think the Nigerian government, they're actually not listening to what these people are saying. If they cannot listen to us, it's not them to listen to. Well, they are stating the obvious, and we all know what is happening in Nigeria, and you see our presidents traveling out of the country, going to solve people's issue, bring solutions, and the one country that you have been given to rule, it's difficult for you to bring out solutions. These things are simple. Put measures in a way that it will cover all this issue. See, okay, let me go with the fact that today, let me not be a little bit negative. Let me go to positive direction. There was one time Mr. Sele was saying what this present administration is doing is kind of good if you look at it from the bright side. So let me go from that direction now. Mr. Sele, are you hearing?
Mr. Sele, they are calling you out.
I'm with you.
So you see, I had this conversation with somebody one time when he said most leaders cannot do what Tinubu did, because they have been trying so hard to remove subsidy. They are trying so hard to do some certain things that he did during this tenure. And if you look at it, some will say, like Mr. Sele said, you are going to suffer, you are going to pass through a lot, because it
But
has
at
to
the end,
do with
you will rejoice.
change. It has to do with you adjusting to a new, in order for the country to go, the comfortability is too much and all. But at the end of the day, you see the bright light at the end of the tunnel. So, but now looking at it from this angle of Nigerians, we want that change. We want Nigeria to grow. We want it to be a better place. But assuming he came in with the fact that, okay, yes, we want to change, but there are ways like he brought up measures or things that we won't feel the impact. We won't feel this pain this much. Assuming he did it that way, Nigeria would have said, okay, he's doing his work and all. They're looking at the other side of, the people really knows what he loves. The people really knows they don't have Nigerians at heart. You can see where they lavish the Nigerian money. You see they borrow, and at the end of the day, we don't see the use. A lot of they have been borrowing a lot this tenor, but you see at the end of the day, we don't see the use. Say they are using it. So I don't want to jump today. Today I just don't want to jump into conclusion. I don't want to.
If you look at the second paragraph of that IMF report, you see, it is what we have said over and over again.
Exactly.
Complementary measures to support those who are affected. If this president, before taking down the fuel subsidy, had put measures in place to cushion
even
the
if it's that CNG.
even that, thank you. If it is CNG, If gas was made, do you know the amount of natural gas waste in this country? Because we can't exhaust it. It is being produced in mass. You can't exhaust. If things were put in place to cushion the effect, we won't be crying here.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good morning, sir. Of the day. We hope so.
There's no leader among them that would say, I have Nigeria at heart or Nigeria at heart.
At all.
No. You see, Donald Trump feels bad because he said America won. And that is what is applicable to all other leaders of those advanced countries.
Exactly.
They have their people. They can't leave
The country at heart.
their people. Anything that has to do with all that things is subsidiary. Now, we have discussed about using Trump in Nigerian population. That our leaders, some of them, if you make that thing down, some of the people given any primary certificate or will take the state of us and what I do.
Oh my God.
That you need to forget it. Before you that this man is front to criminality. So these are some of the things. In a nutshell, let us continue to pray for this area. And the leaders, let them think about what is right and who is right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you so much, Mr. Abdallah. I appreciate you. Now, we've talked about trust, building trust with the public. Another thing that he suggested was promoting transparency.
Exactly.
You know that with the age, the technology age that we're in, we're supposed to be seeing data and details
Of
on how
things
our money is
have
being
been
spent. There needs to be like a website that somebody just goes to scroll and see, oh, these people remove 5 naira to buy water. Oh, these people remove 3 naira to invest in this. With the kind of technological age that we're in at the time, the Nigerian people needs to be seeing things. Because, they used to say seeing is believing.
I just like what I said. All we need is a president, just an individual, who has that strong political will to do what is right. Automate a lot of things in Nigeria. And I tell you, our problem will crash to barest minimum.
Mr. Sele, one person. Me, I not agree with that one.
You know why I said one person?
In Nigeria, one person, Mr. Sele.
You know why I said one person? If I assume office as the president, I know at least about 1,000 persons I will fire that very day. I'm assuming office. Serious. I know at least 1,000 persons I'm going to fire on the spot. In fact, as I'm dropping my speech, you'll be leaving the office. And do it, and you see this country, because yes, corruption is being aided by a lot. We know who is aiding and abetting corruption, for crying out loud. We know how corrupt our civil service is. Do a turnaround in that. Put people do a total reform in our civil service. Put people in strategic places to start the reform. And it's not going to be easy for one person, but I'm sure with 80 years in office, a politically weird person will get it done.
And Mr. Sele, you know that when we're talking about transparency, we're not even only talking about it from just the top,
from the top,
presidency.
No, at every level.
How many back and forths have we had? We keep saying, can EFCC even come out and tell us what is going on? Can they release maybe a press statement or
In the
something?
politics already. How do you expect them to come out when they're already playing the game?
Which day were we talking about how Dangote was not transparent with pricing?
With pricing, we were asking him
Back and forth,
back and forth.
back
All
and
these
forth.
figures should be
What
just
are
like
we saying?
what you say. It's something that I can just pick my phone. Okay, how much is Dangote selling for a PM? I have
we
the
check it?
figures on a platform that everybody can access. But nobody won't do it. Somebody was okay. Like a lot of things, do you know anybody can come up and claim to be whoever you want to be, collect a contract and run away, disappear into the thin air?
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good
Can
morning.
you hear me? Yeah, what's your name? Oh, Robert.
No, okay.
To fund 2024 budget.
Deficit.
Budget deficit.
Deficit.
You know, we still have December now.
Yes.
Oh God. Maybe it's part of why they want to borrow.
We're still borrowing in
We're still
2025
borrowing
now.
more.
This one is to
This one is to
supplement
complete
2024.
So we still have another one to borrow for 2025 budget.
Oh my God. We went not follow borrow the money. We did inside though.
By that time, we'll start answering Chinese names.
I know. We won't get to that point. Let's be hopeful.
Yes, yes. Is something else. Yes, he's a private. He do his own business.
Government come out, they still they do back and forth with refinery. He go say he no wan sell to Nigerians again, he wan sell abroad. Who wan hold am?
Hold on.
Sorry. No vex. Thank you, Mr. Robert. Oh my God.
It's funny, but it's heartbreaking.
I agree with you.
It's heart wrenching. As in, we can't be talking about this over and over again. We were hopeful. This government come on with a mandate of hope. Renewed hope. Renewed hope.
Not
And
like
is
we
this
even
indeed
get
the kind of
hope before.
Mr. Sele. See,
Can't believe
these
me,
people will come out with, I don't know who is to write that in for them, But they will go and survey all Nigeria, all the 36 states, and look at what Nigeria is passing through, what is killing us, then write it down. Then they'll come out and read it for Nigerians, and we will fall for it, because that is our main problem, and we need leaders to fix it. And at the end of the day, they keep doing the same thing over and over again. I still believe in this, I don't understand.
You know, the way at which Nigerians rallied around the ex-president Muhammadu Buhari was a wonder. So, because everybody knew what corruption was doing.
Well, doing to this country, yes.
You know, so when he came out to say, you know what, I'm going to fight this corruption, people said, oh, we're in this together.
Yes.
What did we see after how many years again? 8 years.
In fact, we saw worst.
Mr. Saleh, he said one leader. Now, I'm not trying to bring any leader, but we had one leader, one president that had the mindset of changing.
No, I get me right. I said one leader with a political will.
And yes,
most leaders
that are working.
Most leaders that get
that
there,
are working around him, Mr. Saleh, the people that are working around that leader have the capability and ability to change.
Did you remember that at a point, Aisha Buhari came out to cry foul about what was happening? I'm talking of a leader that will get there and deal with those so-called cabals first. We saw what J.J. Rawlings did in Ghana. Do you want me to say it? He first of all cleared some bush. I know what I'm saying. He cleared some bush.
Mr. Saleh, cannot happen in Nigeria.
That's why I say we need somebody with a political will who can do that.
We don't need to totally dismiss it. I think there's a possibility for change in Nigeria.
What J.J. Rawlings did was to give them to place it, give them options. It's either you change or you are gone. A lot of people will go on exile. Those who know that they can't change, go on exile. If you can't get an exile, anything that you see, you take. But this is what I want. A president with a political will can't do that in Nigeria.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Oh, I think that we lost that one. In case you're just tuning in, this is Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. And we're still looking through the news stories making the headlines in today's newspaper. We're going on a quick break. And when we come back, the conversation continues. So do not touch your radio. Please stay with us.
Since 3 days ago, my corruption
They say that our president has saved us from bleeding. God, wait till they rush. When they say they don't save us from bleeding. You get some kind statement.
Okay, finance and coordinating ministry.
Yeah, see the kind person when they talk this thing. Nigeria way is still a bleed.
Minister of Finance
I'm trying to go.
Get involved. Air your opinions. In this republic, we don't turn off your mic. Join us on Bright Republic, weekdays, 8 a.m.
So, like, does the radio stop when you get into a car accident? Or are you just sitting there like,
I'm safe. What up, man? It's TJ on this one.
Yeah, it's your boy Chameleon.
Yo, what up? This is Big Snoop Dogg.
Hi, this is the Pussycat Dolls.
Music, please.
I got hands on. I get bands from. Hey, this is Carrie Hilson, and you're listening to Rock 98.7.
I'm here since 3 days ago. My corruption happened every day.
A lot of content to control. They see them for market. And if you see them, you don't know. They found yourself, but me, I never go to Ghana before.
Let's discuss the headlines and the politics.
The Senate orders of 2011 as amended, which is the new and the authentic, because it has never.
Get involved. Air your opinions. In this republic, we don't turn off your mic. Join us on Bright Republic, weekdays, 8 a.m.
Taking the
All right, welcome back. This is still Bright Republic on Bright FM. And in case you want to just get across to us via calls, please, by all means, reach out to us on 0808-704-1217. That's our call line, 0808-704-1217. And if you want to text us on WhatsApp or send us a voice note, the WhatsApp number is 0901-615-0614. Let's come back with this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Mr. Sam. Mr. Sam, please go ahead. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so sorry about that. Oh. Okay. Oh no, I think this one is the one that is valid now. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a deep question.
We'll generate our own.
That is it.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yes, yes, land of home of solid minerals. Wow. Just walking around the environment.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Lend us money again. Make me fall.
Yes.
Mr. Sam, thank you,
Thank you
Mr.
so
Sam.
much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sam Oluyemi. We appreciate your contribution. But looking at it,
that is just it. Because I can't fathom it. I can't get hold of how a president sitting on Nigeria, where we have, I've said it over and over now, Nigeria is the most blessed nation of the world.
let me tell you what.
If all other presidents who have been borrowing, we are borrowing to develop how to mine all these mineral resources. We are borrowing to see how we can turn Nigeria's creative abilities into something useful. I'm not sure this president will be talking of borrowing.
Let me tell you what is going to happen if we adopt what Mr. Oluyemi just said. First things first, cost of governance will first come down.
That is it.
Because now nobody is borrowing you money from
to-
anywhere
to-
waste
to
anywhere.
waste
You are even looking for money to fix the country. You will start with people that are earning a lot of money, and that's the government.
Now, let me make.
It will come down.
Let me make reference to somebody we know him by the time I said, when he assumed office as a governor, the first thing he did was like, okay, if I'm going to Abuja, he looked at the list, maybe minimum of 50 personnel going with him to attend one single meeting in Abuja. He now asked, list out what these people
Are going to do.
Abuja to do. It is a meeting that needs the governor to attend, right? So all these people in the list, just list out what they are going to do, and I don't have an issue with it.
They will just follow motto long.
Which
entourage
motto?
Like this.
Which motto? They will all of them will fly in.
And that's what I'm saying.
They will lodge them in hotels. If you, I told you of the person I worked with that said each time the minister has an event outside the country,
Cash go flow.
Oh, he will be thinking of the next investment because he knows how much he's coming home. Just to follow the minister, go there, carry camera, snap him or her, and come back. He will be thinking of the next investment. Now, if we, that's why I said it takes somebody with a political will, just like what our last caller said. If we have somebody who will now put an end, we don't borrow, and if we have anything we have, let's see what we do with it. We have somebody that is accountable. Nigeria will rise.
And he said something else. He said that if people stop lending us,
yes,
that our government will think. They will start thinking
inwardly,
creatively.
Yes.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Mr. Robert. Okay.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
I like what he said. I like it because he said that all people who are under the government, they are lazy.
Yes, they are.
They are lazy, totally lazy. They are here to sit down, press phone, manipulate the computer.
You still get some way they work, no be all of them, Mr. Robert.
What percentage?
My sister, they say, what fish was going inside river? They were everything for the river. You see, if they carry 10%, if this man goes on that government, see, all them will say, let them borrow money. If you will remain, put them capacity, just put down. You understand? If they carry 10 people, let them go. Now, they don't borrow money. If them will remain, agree. What is going to happen? They are totally agree that they can borrow money.
Yes.
So, all of them. You see the office, you see the benefit, and woman wants if they talk to you, you carry your ear, go close your mouth, or your ear, go close the mouth, you just go here with the talk. They will talk everything across the area.
What's wrong, Mr. Robert?
They are not ready to start government. Make them pass their head. If you are not, where they will go. Let them go another country. Go try that. That's the way that they do. Where they will succeed.
Thank you, Mr. Robert.
When they enter common go to like this one, they do and where they will succeed.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. Robert. Let's move over to Vanguard newspaper. Before that, I think we should take Mr. Sam's advice and call out the numbers again. In fact, let's say when I go begin to save our number, save them for your phone, Bright FM, so that anytime you want to call us, it's easy for you to do. So for our WhatsApp number, 0901 615 0614. That's our WhatsApp number. Let's take it again. 0901 615 0614. And for our call line, you want to call us directly, 0808 704 1217. Let's take that call number again, 0808 704 1217. And in case you're on social media, we are streaming live on Facebook at Bright FM Abuja and on YouTube at Bright FM Abuja. So follow us and be part of the conversation. Let's move over to Vanguard this morning. Tinubu saves Nigeria from economic bleeding. Edun on this one. Now, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has said the initiative of President Bola Tinubu stopped the country from bleeding, referring to the stoppage of imported fuel, now which he said costing 5% of the GDP of the country every year. The minister, who stated this during the opening ceremony of the National Council of Finance and Economic Development in Bauchi yesterday, said that President Tinubu's administration inherited assets and liabilities, adding that there were no looking back in charting a way forward to stabilize the economy. Now, when you try to look at where we are now, essentially the major macroeconomic reforms that are in place, the president has stopped the bleeding that was costing 5% of the GDP of the country every year, that was adding no value except to a few people. Of course, neighboring countries that were benefiting from what was happening with the fuel subsidy and as well a related foreign exchange subsidy. Now, the benefits were saved for just a few, and a mass of Nigerians were not getting any benefits from these structures. They've been removed, and the Federation account will benefit from the increased flow of resources to the federal, states, and local governments, and so much more can be done in terms of investing, not just infrastructure, but in social services like education, health. The road is clear for private sector investors, and as we know, we are now back in business on the road to industrialization based on what is happening in the petroleum refining sector. It said crude oil is not just being shipped abroad, it's been refined locally to give petroleum products and raw materials in the industry. I said we should be encouraged that we have a more stable, sustainable macroeconomic environment that is friendly to investors, that will make it possible not only for them to produce competitively for the domestic market, but also the expats. The minister also expressed appreciation to Governor Bala Mohammed for hosting the conference and the organizers for making the conference a reality. Mr. Esele, let's first get your take on this. I have a problem with, after praising, the president of how he saved, Nigeria from economic bleeding, you're making reference to Dangote's refinery.
Yes.
Which is a private
why are you like
refinery.
He saved Nigeria from bleeding. Yes, I agree. Anyway,
you're praising, you're saying, oh, crude oil is not just only being shipped, it's being refined locally. Who made that happen? If Dangote's refinery is not functional now, look at what is happening with Port Harcourt refinery.
Anyway, let me take the
that shouldn't even be a basis to praise the government.
I don't want to.
It was Dangote that said that the government didn't even give him land, that he paid for everything. He said that the Nigerian government should sell crude to Dangote at a very reduced price. Let us see how it's going to impact the fuel price. I don't know why he's using this. That's the one that is vexing me. Why are you using Dangote refinery to be talking? Leave it alone. Talk about other things that the president has done to make sure that he saved Nigeria from economic bleeding.
Yes, the removal of fuel subsidy, was it for the benefit of Nigeria and Nigerians? Yes.
What are we bleeding? What are we bleeding?
The regulation
I'm not the answer.
No, see, seriously, we are bleeding. In fact,
what?
we are at the point, we were almost at the ICU when President Bola came in. I agree. Because if Nigeria had continued on that track of fuel subsidy and the parallel market not being deregulated, I'm sure by now we won't be talking of only 2.2 billion naira for them to borrow. They will be borrowing in trillions of dollars to pay salaries, to do other things.
Mr. Sele, Vicky asked, are we still bleeding?
He never still answer me.
I'm coming to that.
No, don't answer yes or no. It's a simple thing. Are we still
never
bleeding?
still answer me.
No, we are still bleeding, yes. Mm-hmm. In fact, the bleeding increased. Because the thing is, just like what I said, we should be ready for more bleeding. But are there blood pints in the blood bank? Yes, they are donors. Donating blood.
Do you still have blood? Because you like my
this is not funny. People are laughing about this. It's not funny, right? But I think that go ahead.
I know it's not funny, but let me take what Wale Edu said. Yes, the moves of the president, as in his moves, his decisions in removing the fuel subsidy, deregulating the parallel market, and all they were beautiful ideas. Just like IMF said, they were beautiful ideas, but taken at the wrong time and with wrong moves.
And with no soft landing.
That's what I'm saying. You just wake up. You can't just wake up and take such decisions. You would have made plans, and now you have taken off the fuel subsidy. Where as in the money you were paying, you were using to pay fuel subsidy. What are you using it for? Where are the effects? Where are the impact of you not paying the subsidy?
And also, President Tinubu might be, saving Nigeria from economic bleeding with his policies, but I don't think he has saved Nigeria from economic bleeding.
Definitely.
Maybe it's in the process.
It's
maybe
in the process.
maybe we're still watching his policies unfold and begin to yield results, right? But as far as we're concerned, economically, Mr. Sele, Nigeria is still bleeding.
Yes, I agree.
Hello, good morning. Mr. John.
I want to show the line of the other corner. That's where you see in Nasarawa. That's why
Mr. Sam.
you see Chinese. They will in Nasarawa. Because there is a radio station that normally hits on Nasarawa. This mine that they are doing here. You understand? We have mineral resources and we are still borrowing money.
We are still borrowing money.
People don't say nobody should borrow, but if you check now, not no company is borrowing Nigeria money again. China is borrowing Nigeria money.
Yes, because of what they are getting from Nigeria.
Yes, and no European country, no white man will leave their country and come to Nigeria if not for their own selfish interest.
Yes.
I make a statement that I think the Indian Prime Minister, they are president, came to Nigeria to do one of these years. You understand?
Yeah.
He has already mapped the plan what he's going to do.
No, you saw now what he signed now.
Long-term
crude oil
supply.
Yes.
You understand me? You know what he's going to do?
Exactly.
Oh, when China gets to Nigeria, how do they start? By selling things for us. But from there, China enter block industry. From there, China don't enter construction.
Yes.
You understand? Packing our mineral resources, and we are still there. Borrowing money. What is it that they
Oh, sorry, Mr. John.
I think we've lost Mr. John right there. Let's take this message from Chief Onovo from Kubwa. It says, "My lovely and wonderful crew in the house, good morning to you all." He said, "They laugh. Boro make man rich as an individual adage, but the opposite has become the case as our country, Nigeria, turns to be Boro master with other countries in the world. Who has done this to our country, Nigeria? Who has bewitched our Nigerian leaders since time inception of democracy?" Said this call for a very big question to Nigerians. They ask and find a better solution to work against this predicament of borrowing that is devouring and ravaging our taxpayer resources. Let's hold our leaders accountable and say no against their mindset of borrowing syndrome to avoid we Nigerians not to be in debt. Not to be debtors in China's country register, because if Nigeria as a country fails to pay, they will have no other choice than to go after Nigerians that are in their country, China, to retrieve their money. This one is from Chief Onovo. We also said we made a point that borrowing is not the problem. Getting loans is not the problem. Nigeria is not the first country to get loans, right? The question is, on a business, if you're thinking, business wise, when you get a loan, you're looking at investing and making profits because paying back.
You are servicing the loan.
Exactly. So the question is, for all of the loans that Nigerian governments have been getting, what's the profit margin like?
What have we done with it?
What have we done with it?
Investment we have made with
it? Exactly. And that's why, when Mr. Sam came out to say, you know what, I think that borrowing is even, removing creativity from leaders and making them lazy. Because there's a way that you will, say they're tossing a hunger, they bring out creativity for person.
Yes.
There's a
president should lack money, do you so?
We had a headline sometime ago when some governors came up to counter a president's policy on. There was a topic bordering on governors generating their own something that will push them to look inwardly and generate their internal revenue. They came to fight it. That's why I said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu definitely has a lot of things. He has a lot of good plans for Nigeria.
Yeah.
But will people allow him? No. But if he has the political will, my dear, he is the president and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic.
No,
He calls the shot. So if he has the political will, he has what it takes to get Nigeria to where we're supposed to be.
No, Mr. Sele, this is something that other presidents so far are trying to do. You look at former President Goodluck, you see he tried to remove it, just that Nigeria were up and down with the whole thing.
The entire street.
And you see former President Buhari too, they had the intentions, because they know that if you remove subsidy, there's a whole benefit you get from it, and they had the intentions of doing it. They didn't just have that mind. I don't want to put it that way, but
the political
mind to do it, to remove the subsidy. But he hadn't. Looking at the current president, Mr. Tinubu, you will see that he's in line with what will move Nigeria forward. He has that mindset of doing things that former leaders cannot do.
Could not do.
But the thing is, he's just doing it at the wrong time.
Not only at the wrong time.
When is the right time?
No, not just the wrong time. This is the right time to do it.
I think it's a problem. It's a soft landing problem.
This is the right time to do it. But it takes you have to step on strong toes. A lot of people have to pay for it.
And you have to think about the impact that it's going to have on the people and how to soft land it for them.
Not just only that, is that he's also surrounded with wrong people.
That's what I'm saying. You heard what I said before. If I'm elected president of Nigeria today, before I'm finishing my speech,
you don't come up.
No, people, even from the speech, people will be leaving their office.
Mr. Sele, even the people that people can leave, but the people that he's bringing to, these people too might not have the same.
See, there is one thing about the iron sharpeneth iron. When you see what your leader is doing, even in our offices, there are people. There are people you don't. If you are discussing some certain things, if they come, you know how you shape yourself, because you don't know whether this one. I don't know if you get it.
I get it.
So I know of a colleague there that the moment you tell him, okay, Victor, KB said this, he will just listen. The moment you finish, he will just go and call KB. Victor, you said what? I don't know if you get it. So people knew him that he don't do side thoughts. If anything you want to tell him, make sure you can repeat it before the other person.
Exactly.
So if you know that your leader is somebody who is this straightforward, then you adjust.
Mr. Sale, I don't want to use this example, but let me just use it. Even in the midst of Christ, we still had Judas Iscariot.
Yes.
And
but it was 1 out of 12.
So there's always 1 out of 12.
In Nigeria, what we have is 11 out of 12.
Can we take this call? Good morning.
Yeah,
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Sam.
Oh, okay, Mr. Sam.
I'm just feeling you guys this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As an individual, I don't know, maybe it's just my being. That the way I look at things, my views are always a little different from the general perception of things. Okay, now let me ask. I'm just wondering. Now, the war that has befallen Nigerians. When I say Nigeria, I mean the ordinary Nigerians.
Ordinary Nigerians.
Yes, the coming of this administration is just one statement. Subsidy is gone forever. Right?
Yeah.
And ever since, the whole equation has changed.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, the easiest way is just to say, okay, subsidy, you are welcome back. We are sorry. Things will just naturally, organically, come back. my dear brothers and sisters, you know that when you talked about the Indian Prime Minister who came,
Yeah.
what was his agreement? I heard from you that it's
Long-term supply of crude oil, yes.
of crude oil. Okay. Now, the Western world will tell us that in no time, crude oil is going to be obsolete.
They're going to start using technology, leveraging technology.
You understand? And if you look at India in terms of technology, we can't compare ourselves with them.
Yes, yes.
So if crude oil is going to become obsolete, you know this time.
Why do they need a
Why
long
would they
term?
come and sign a long-term agreement?
Are you with me?
Yes.
Dangote, a businessman that I know, very, very intellectual. He must have invested $20 billion
On refinery.
2024.
Yes, yes. I agree with you.
You know what? You see this ISF and the like, I can tell you for free with my perception. You see this idea of go back and the policy, this and that. It's because some of these decisions they influence our leaders today is beginning to tell on their
Exactly.
Give you an example, so how often do you see people importing vehicles now from abroad?
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
So when they don't buy, what happens?
Yes. Yes.
So it is not a subtle way of saying, okay, now the amount of the volume of cars coming out of the from Europe has reduced now, and it is these developing countries whose unfortunately the leaders are so intellectually lazy and they are not producing and they are buying from us. The money is not coming out. So let's see how we can just
Talk them into going back. Yes. I get you. I get you, Mr. Sam.
Sometimes, anyway, I think I'll keep calling.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sam. Thank you very, very. I think this is the first time Mr. Sam is calling that.
Yes, and yesterday, just like what he said, I was talking with a friend. He flew into Enugu. He went for a program and came back, and he was like, "Do you know that now, if you want to fly to any state in Nigeria, you only get to fly with all these politicians? That is no longer gone are the days where small boys who."
Do you know how much is flight? If you calculate it, you go use road.
What am I trying to say? Even the airline operators will definitely take government to
200.
Oh yes, fly from here to Enugu. He said he book ahead almost 200,000.
But see, when you enter aeroplane, when the money na 50. If you don't enter aeroplane again.
When I went to Katsina here, I just checked because I got the call very late. I just said, okay, can I get the first flight the next day? Ask me how much.
How much?
Almost 500,000.
Oh my God.
Now I know it.
Minimum wage is how much again? Remind me how much minimum wage.
No, why I know we use road.
Oh my God.
That is it. So the thing is, a lot of all these foreign countries that were living big from Nigerians importing what they produce is affecting them. It's telling on them. And they are looking at, it's better we advise these people to go back to where they were.
Let's take this one from Chief Onobo. It says, my people, Nigeria as a country is seriously bleeding because of fuel subsidy removal without an automatic remedy. Yeah. I say, for me, it is not even bleeding, but gushing out. Now, uncontrollably against humanity, people are now in serious pain today in all sectors as fuel controls or affect all sectors. It says, with fuel subsidy, things go well with Nigerians, but if the opposite becomes the case, Nigerians will definitely receive misfortune. Thank you, Chief Onovo. Let's move to another story right here. I think this one is talking about character, I guess. Let's look at it. It's the Lagos Monarch. This is on Tribune. It says Nigeria needs individual character remolding, not electoral reform. Let's look into the story properly. High Chief Kehinde, the traditional ruler of Otumara community in Lagos, believes that Nigeria's problems stem from individual character flaws, not electoral or judicial system issues. He suggests that living by the second stanza of the Nigeria's national pledge is the solution to the country's socioeconomic and political challenges. The pledge emphasizes faithfulness, loyalty, and honesty. Now, Chief Kehinde believes would eradicate corruption, electoral fraud, and other issues if adhered to. Now, Chief Kehinde disagrees with former President Olusegun Obasanjo's call for electoral law reforms and new leadership at the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Instead, he advocates for individual character remolding, asserting that Nigerian laws are objective and unambiguous, and that the country has an abundance of professionals. The real problem, he argues, lies in individual greed and corruption. Now, the traditional ruler urges Nigerians, particularly the political class, to undergo self-cleansing and prioritize the success of the Nigerian project. By doing so, those in positions of power will be just, honest, and incorruptible, and will not compromise in handling corruption cases. Now, Chief Kehinde also highlights the need to address corruption cases that have been stalled for years at the ICPC and EFCC. Keys to Nigeria's progress, according to Chief Kehinde, is a shift in individual attitude towards corruption, greed, and power. And by embracing the values outlined in the National Pledge, Nigerians can create a more just and prosperous society. This approach prioritizes personal responsibility and integrity over systemic reforms, offering a unique perspective on addressing Nigeria's complex challenges. And you see that with all of this, it still comes back to us, the conversation that we had the other day about how it's the little things that matter and how much, values can influence things. And we talked about how that the people that are in power right now, they used to be ordinary Nigerians. And it was you who said that the people deserve the leaders that they get. Yes. Because the leaders were part of the people before. And it was somebody who talked about how that even with the 1999 constitution, Angel Gabriel cannot save Nigeria. Kevin, you remember that story? Yeah. And when we were talking about, and he was talking about how that we need to change the Nigerian, the 1999 constitution. And we said that for Nigeria, it's not about constitution. It's not about changing anything. It's about an individual, just like the Chief Kehinde said, the Nigerian person changing the way that they think. And I keep making reference to just call out an ordinary Nigerian now and just ask them, if you're given opportunity to serve now, what are you going to just hear their thoughts? Even when they say it jokingly,
they mean the same thing.
They mean the same thing.
Anyway, that was a beautiful piece of writing, a piece of advice, but on papers.
On papers, yeah.
What Nigeria need now, take it or leave it. Yes, we need character adjustment. I've been an advocate of that. It starts with me and you. But I tell you what, an average Nigerian, an average young guy on the street, when he's leaving the four walls of the university or the four walls of the school, or when he's getting into the streets to hustle, he's looking for what to eat. He is just looking for a comfortable life. If we have a government that guarantees tomorrow for my child, I will give it all to change the narratives. But when I have a government that have no plan, my own tomorrow, not to talk of my child, then I do everything to secure my child's tomorrow. That is what brought us here. Everybody is fighting to secure his future, to guarantee a comfortable life, not
by compromising on character and values.
So if government have assured me, for instance, I was talking with one guy, like in US, for example. The moment I get a job, I have a job here. The moment I get a job, all I need is my pay slip. Walk into any automobile company, pick a car. I don't have to pay myself to buy a car. I need a house. I look for any this thing. My pay slip. I get a comfortable accommodation.
Let me tell you a little story. She said, I had a friend of mine who traveled abroad just very recently. And, when she got there and she settled in and she got a job, guess the first thing that she went to do? She went to buy big, these big phones and tablet. I say, guy, he said, he does not have the money. They will be taking it.
Yes, just with your payslip.
Just like that. There's something called credit card.
Yes. So now that is where I'm going to.
You don't have to pray, Father in
No,
heaven,
no, no,
help
no, no.
me, help me.
There are things you don't pray for over there. A lot of things. So if the government, because I agree with him totally, but it starts with the government. If the government puts the right thing in place, and I am not pushed, because a lot of Nigerians compromise because that's the only option to survive. Nigeria has turned to a jungle where it is the survivor of the
Mr.
fittest.
Sela, looking at it, if a person who does not have good character and values is part of the government, so it means that we're going to keep recycling
exactly.
the
That's what
same
I'm saying.
results.
So the first thing we have to do is to get our government right. If we get it right, see, just like what I said, yes, if KB said even Jesus amongst the apostles there was Judas. Yes, we had Judas amongst the apostles, but in Nigeria we have 11 Judas among 12 apostles. But with the right government there, if our tomorrow is guaranteed, you will find out that Nigerians are beautiful people, very loving people. I mean, when I was posted to my service, I kept saying it. If I have my way, if not for this security in North, I will move to North and adopt being a Northern. As in become my full-fledged Hausa man. In fact, if I will even take a name. I love their way. There was the first thing I learned in Hausa language was there's a way they say it. As in when they say leave it, there's a way they say it.
I don't know.
That was the first thing I learned. As in when they take things very easy.
Bad and wise, like no problem.
Back on me, I think
back on me.
Back on me, I think back on me, leave it. I think you see something that an man will be fighting for. You just and he moves on. So I know that we have beautiful people in every ethnic group in Nigeria. Give us a comfortable life, guarantee our tomorrow, and you see a beautiful Nigeria.
Mr. Sele, I like everything you just said now, but just like you said, I just recall something you said one time ago. We had the same conversation.
I'm holding you to your word.
Integrity. We had this conversation of integrity, and you stated then that if a leader does not have integrity, it will not work.
That is the same thing I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying now. I said if a leader does not have integrity,
it can't work.
It's like that whole system is going to
and that's part of the character molding that the chief is
it
talking
has to
about.
start from up.
That time we're discussing about INEC and EFCC. When we said as long as these people don't have integrity, even if they make them to stand on their own, it's still going to be the same because they want to support, they still want to collect that money, even if they are standing. In fact, that's the time they even do worse because people,
you now buy it no longer.
It's going to be highest bidder.
Thank you.
It's going to be based on highest bidder, and whoever gives the highest money is the party that is going to win. So I like the fact that he came out, the monarch came out to say, see, this is what we need. But the thing is, even if you are coming out, these people will just listen and not do it at the end of the day.
That is it.
They will not do anything at the end of the day. So why are we even stressing ourselves in the first place? Because you know that this present administration are not going to listen to you. Integrity is far from these people. Honesty is far from these people because they are all after themselves.
And before we move to the next news, in case you want to reach out to us, the number to call is 0808 704 1217. 0808 704 1217. And to text us on WhatsApp or send in a voice note 0901 615 0614. Let's take it again. 0901 615 0614. We're on social media, we're on YouTube and on Facebook at Bright FM Abuja. Please do well to subscribe and follow and join in the conversation. Let's move to this story on Punch, and this is about insecurity now. Boko Haram kills 5 soldiers, burn military trucks in Borno attack. Now, Boko Haram / Islamic State West Africa province terrorists have attacked troops at the Gubbio local government area of Borno State, killing 5. Also, 10 soldiers were wounded and 4 are missing in action. Now, the troops during the attack also killed many of the terrorists. Also killed many of the terrorists. Now, in a statement on Tuesday, the Defense Headquarters confirmed the incident. The Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said that the attack would not discourage the troops in the counter-terrorism operations in the state and beyond. Now, he said the coordinated attack saw 5 killed in action soldiers, 10 wounded, and 4 missing in action, while troops eliminated several terrorists as well as recovered weapons, some equipment, including one gun truck, 3 TCVs, and does he own tomorrow? His own character, yes. Not using Nigeria's money to secure your tomorrow. Everything. It's the individual that should do that. Thank you, Mr. Barr. Thank you so much for your contribution. I appreciate you. And there's one last thing that you said, that, I mean, it really stuck with me. You said if we decide to change our character as a people, it makes that by 2027. With that character change, we can make it, right? So, but let's come back to military personnel. And, we've asked that God receive their souls. But again, talking about, insecurity, I want to ask a question. The government, are they providing adequate supplies for our military personnel to battle insecurity head on?
I think you have answered to that. People have come out to cry. How these guys, these insurgents parade heavy,
we just lost 5
weapons more deadly than here. We've said it over and over again. Compromise. I've had opportunity of listening to one soldier one time like that. How they will plan a move, and these guys will get information about their move.
They're ambushing them.
And ambush them. So there is a lot of compromise amongst them. Now we saw 5 killed, 10 injured, 4 missing.
Missing in action.
Now missing, how? Where are they? These are questions that beg for answers. How did these guys, with everything we have, with all our military infrastructures, how did these people get, how did it happen? How did they take them unaware? We should have gotten to a point where it is our military going to their camp to invade them, not them coming to attack our military. It is well.
But again, the defense, the director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward, has said that this attack is not going to discourage, the troops in counter-terrorism operations in the state and beyond. We're talking about insecurity, and I think it was Mr. Abdallah, that talked about how that if state of emergency is declared in insecurity, that what is going to do is that it's going to channel the focus of the Nigerian security apparatus to insecurity and to be able to tackle it head on.
Yes.
And this is we just witnessed that a new sect has come up. Aside that, we're looking at bandits also.
Yeah.
Aside that, we're looking at kidnappers, one chance people, headsmen, a lot, ritual killing, name it. It's high time that this state of emergency is because losing our soldier. How many then they?
Our soldiers
How many then they?
Being outnumbered.
Exactly.
And we are
We don't
losing
even-
them.
exactly.
So we don't need this news.
We don't. It's very sad. It's very sad because now they've reported how many of our soldiers were gone. Now they said they killed many terrorists. We don't have a number. We don't.
You remember the last story that they said they recovered cow? This whole thing is just making me laugh at the way Nigerians is handling insecurity in Nigeria. To record the army, the military people that are gone, but they don't come out with the pure record of how they are fighting or how the people that they are attacking, the numbers of these people that they attack.
And Mr. Sele, we're talking about budgeting earlier. Yes, we're rounding up. We're talking about budgeting earlier on, and we're talking about how that even in allocating the budget, that there are sectors that should be prioritized.
We talked about education.
And we talked about investing a lot in security.
Security. If we have security of life, what is happening in North, food security will be guaranteed. At least we won't be where we are in terms of hunger.
Please, let's just get our last takes because this news don't keep my morale.
Anyway, I just like what the monarch in Lagos said. I think from Lagos, just like what he said, we actually need character reformation. We need character reformation. Every Nigerian, both young and old, we need to start seeing Nigeria as a project, as a general project. Rebuilding Nigeria is not an individual thing. It takes all of us to make it work, and we have to start working.
Thank you, Kirby.
Well, just like Mr. Sima said, just Nigerians, we should have a change of mindset towards the way we see Nigeria, and once that is done, we'll see that we can actually change Nigeria. It's something not that difficult. It's just